it's me. I'm here and I'm on my own. The young people have got exams on just now, and I said to them that this was more important than their exams, but it's true what they say about young people today. They are quite selfish. It's all me, 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 and they said that their futures were more important than this project, which frankly is just a really quite stultifying display of selfishness on their part. So they're at home studying. Obviously I'm joking. Their future is more important than this semi-derelict building. So it's dried out a fair bit. We've had a kind of dryish week, and I have brought down with me some tools. This is a petrol jet wash that I got from a neighbour, and I'm thinking, I know I keep saying I'm going to get a digger, and I will get a digger, but I wonder how much of this we could jet wash. I know that the heavy stuff isn't going to jet wash away, but the stuff we've cleared, and maybe down here where it's a bit thinner, you know, the turf, it's not quite as much of it. I wonder if we can jet wash it away. I don't have high hopes for this, but we got this jet wash. I thought it might be quite handy to use. If nothing else, I can jet wash my van because it's clarty. So I've had this running. I bet it doesn't run now though, but I have had it running. What I'm going to do is get it going, and I've selected for this exercise the narrow spray heavy cleaning decks, siding, driveways and paint removal, and I'm going to scoosh all of that and see what happens. On fuel. Oh, and also I've got it connected to a tank. So I think the wand isn't working. I think the wand is blocked. I don't really know. There was a problem, and it was my scoosher end, my scoosher selection. It was blocked. This has sat for ages and not been used, so put a comment in the comment section below if you think this will work. I never understand why people who make YouTube videos say that, because I'm going to do it and you're going to find out anyway. Putting a comment in the, I mean, it's already happened, I already recorded it, so you putting a comment in there telling me whether it will or won't work, I don't know who that benefits. Well, I mean, it benefits us because the algorithm apparently picks that up and says, oh, people are commenting on this video, we'll put it on more people's timelines, so you should definitely do that. And also you should like and subscribe and tell all your friends, because this content is just, it's second to none. What have we learned from this experience, this endeavour? My blower was doing as much as that's doing, except it wasn't making a mud bath. In terms of getting all this scraped off, I think a digger's still the right thing for that. But I bought another tool. Last week the ground was really wet, and it was actually quite easy-ish to scrape the muck back off the drive. However, the shovel I was using was just a standard shovel. I've bought a long-handled shovel. Immediately when you see this, you'll just think snow shovel, and it won't be strong enough. And I'm prepared to accept that that might be right. This little bit of culvert here, this little bit of drainage isn't connected to anything. There's tree roots at either end, so there's tree roots there, and there's tree roots up there, and there's no drainage, or if there is, it's blocked under the road here. The drain's overflowing all the pine needles and crap onto the road, and then the grass grows on that, and then it's just all overgrown. This, compared to how it was, I'll see if I can dig out a picture and I'll put it up on the screen. It's a huge difference, huge difference. The oldest group dug all this out up to kind of where the tripod is, but as you can see, it's kind of already coming back. I would show you what I've done, but it's so underwhelming. It's really not that good. So yes, I know I've said it before, we need a digger. Ew. Wow, that's like a, where's my pokey thing? Wow. I may wish I'd never started this job. The door wasn't closing properly. That, by the way, is the heaviest door on the planet. I do have wood in the van. So I'm going to hoik that off somehow in my mind. And then I'm going to put another bit of wood on here and it'll all work perfectly. And it'll just totally go according to plan. Oh, there's a worm. Sorry worm, you're about to get booted. I've hesitated to do this because once you start, you just keep pulling away more and more rotten wood, damp wood, until there's just nothing left. The top looks wonky, but listen, the whole building's wonky. The thing is, the wood that I'm using is thicker than the wood that was on there, so I'm worried that the door won't fit in now. Also, I cut that top bit just a little bit too short. I'm using a chainsaw. Mice might get in, oh my god. Almost get a kangaroo in that gap. I measure, but look at the gap. Big gap. This is why I dropped techie. About that gap. The thing is, I've fixed it. Okay, now I think I've done quite a good job. I want you to tell me in the comments below if you can see where the gap was. Okay, I'll do a countdown and then you can, because it's really difficult to see. I think normally I do this and it doesn't work very well, it's just a mess. But I think I've excelled myself. So in the comments below, can you see my fix? Can you see it? Oh, that is seamless. You would think that was just like one bit of wood. There's hardly any, it's almost like it's a continuation of this right up to there, isn't it? Don't judge me. Today's mystery object quiz is these. What are these? In the comments below, I don't bother, I'm just joking. What these are windbags. There are 3 windbags that you can see on your screen just now. There's these 2 and me. They're windbags, and what you do is you use them to hang doors. So you put them underneath the door, you get the door in the gap the door's supposed to go in, and you put the door on top of these, and then you pump them up and they raise or lower the door. You put one on either side of the door, so, and you can raise and lower. They're really handy. I use them for the Scout Hall bogs. That's why the doors in the Scout Hall bogs are so well hung. The other thing these are useful for, strictly between you and me, is if you lock your key. I think you know what I'm saying. If you lock your keys in your car, people don't really have car keys anymore because it's 2024. But you can use these to lever open the top bit of the door, and then you get a wire and you can reach in, and I'll show you how to do it one of these days. RAC and AA people carry these, green flag, whatever, carry these around in their van, and they have tools where you can just lever open and you just slip one of these in and then pump it up and it wedge, and the door very gently wedges the door open. And then they've got another tool, a long wire thing with a hook, and they can reach in and just pop the door open. Really needed Thomas down here to lift that door. Thomas, you know, muscly Thomas, not wee Thomas. Muscly Thomas, he would have just picked it up just like with one hand. It's like, I'll get the door, like that. That's what they do, you see, and then you can pump them up and it raises the door. And the idea is that you hang a door perfectly. This isn't going to be a perfect job, and it doesn't need to be perfect. The door just needs to shut. That was an enormous pain in the arse. We've replaced this here, so the hinges are into fresh wood. I do like a bit of fresh wood, and my hinges, these hinges are now screwed into fresh wood. And we've also replaced, I say we, as if I'm trying to spread the blame for the shoddy workmanship, the top lintel. Unfortunately, there was a slight technical measurement mismatch error, where once that was hung, the door was hung and that was all fine, it wouldn't close. So I had to, I don't know how this bit of wood, I was just going to take it off. I had to like hack it off with a chisel. I'm not really proud of that. I'm actually a wee bit ashamed of it, because even by my low standards, that's poor. But it was the only way to get the door to close. And also, these are all my excuses by the way, it's all getting hiked down anyway and replaced. So I just chipped away all that and the door closes, and we've got a lock up here as well, and it does lock. I also took all the wood off the door. That was why it was so heavy. That wood is like it's like sort of not plywood, plywood? Anyway, the point is that it's like chipboard, that's what it is. And it was all totally waterlogged, and it weighs a ton. So the door only weighs half a ton now. But I've just replaced it. I had some of these in the van, so I just shoved some of those on. What a job, what a pain in the arse that was. I don't know if negative comments get the algorithm going. Do it. Hit me with your negative comments. You just don't feel as if you're even scratching the surface when you're doing these wee jobs. People coming for a look still think the place is abandoned, although I think that's a stretch now, because inside is a lot tidier. There's obviously people doing stuff. Logs are stacked neatly, furniture's placed neatly. But really, you have to just look at the one thing that you're doing right there and then and get it done, and then move on to the next thing. And if you just keep doing that, then eventually you'll make progress. And we've already made tons of progress. The problem is that there's just so many small jobs to do. This is our filter that we just put in, and then the pipe along here through the cupboard, this grey pipe that you can maybe just about see, that's the new pipe. There was a copper pipe there, and it goes in and feeds those taps over by the sink there. Turn the water on outside, and I now need to just turn the water on inside. So what we need to do is turn this on and see what happens. Probably nothing, but let's... That was a lot of noise. I don't know if you heard that, but... So these taps should now work. Well, not the hot tap, but the cold tap. Hold on. There's this one to turn on. Finally, something I have done works. Let's just go and check up the stairs to make sure there isn't water forming an indoor swimming pool. This is the 4-star toilet. We've kept this one particularly tidy. Yeah, this is not a place that we come to very often because it's disgusting. I could pick that sink up. There you go, it's good as new. So there we have it. Small steps, but that's a big improvement. We have running water in the toilets and in the kitchen. Now, I wouldn't drink this water, but certainly for hand washing and for dishes, doing dishes, I think that would probably be fine. And I also forgot about this, but these risk assessments. These risk assessments they're formatted to suit scouts. There's a risk assessment for the building, one for the grounds, and one for activities that we do, but that won't suit any scout groups using the grounds. They would need to risk assess their own activities. However, in terms of the building, inside the building, around the building, the pond, the river, the grounds, that's all risk assessed. How effective those risk assessments are obviously is out of my hands, but I've done my best. Here we are. If you want to use the grounds, I can send you copies of these and you can include them in your nights away notification, which isn't really a notification as we all know, it's permission. That's it for this video. See you in the next one.